Hey guys, this is Andrew with Figure Fandom Review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Tamashii Nation's Imagination Works Monkey D Luffy. So, I have been wanting to get into the Imagination Works line of figures for a bit. It's just their Dragon Ball Z figures that they came out with were not the best from the reviews that I saw. And of course, this was before I even started doing reviews myself. But I did get this Monkey D Luffy, and I will say that it is pretty cool. I'm a huge anime fan, which I'm sure you could tell by the content on my channel. But I really wanted to look at this figure and, see what it was about. And, for the most part, really happy with this figure. There's a few cons, but there's, overall, the figure I think is pretty decent. And I'll give my opinions onto why I think so later on in the review. So let's go ahead, let's take him off the stand and get into it. So now that he's off the stand, let's take a look at him. So as soon as you get him out of the packaging, this is exactly how he's going to come. And right away, man, he's awesome. He looks exactly proportionally how I would expect Luffy to look. The right arm length to torso to head, like he proportionally just looks perfect. So I'm really happy with just the look of him alone. When you grab him, especially when you touch his waist, what you'll notice is that this is a soft plastic, very similar to exactly like how Storm Collectibles does theirs. So that's pretty neat. I do like that and dislike it at certain times, and probably in the video I'll explain why later on. But it is a cool look, and the plastics match very, very well. Oops, got a message. And so yeah, the plastics match very, very well. So really good job. The shading on his pants is awesome. So it does look really good. It has almost like a, on camera you're not seeing it as well, but it looks like it has a denim kind of look to it. It's pretty neat. As for shading on the figure, I don't really see any in the upper body parts, and that may be because they designed him specifically to be wearing that red shirt. I'm just reviewing him this way as he comes out the box, but that may be why. I mean, still not really an excuse, especially considering it's a more premium figure. And on his legs, I don't really see any shading in any way, so yeah. I mean, the shading though is definitely on the pants 100%, and it does look very, very good. And there appears to be some form of mild shading maybe, or it's just maybe the way the plastic formed, but it looks to be shading on his sash right here. So not bad. So let's go ahead and let's get into the articulation of this guy. Alright guys, so like we do, we're going to start from the top and work our way down. So for head articulation, pivot especially, to that side we get about that much. So not a whole lot. His neck kind of fights me a little bit here. And then moving to the other side, we get about that much. He, of course, can look side to side very easily. He cannot look back very well at all. Like, this is neutral, and then this is back. So not a whole lot at all. And again, as usual, because the back of his hair is affecting the articulation. So it's bumping into the neck, and the neck doesn't really give you any backwards range of motion. So that's about as high as it's going to get. Like, this is neutral, this is looking up. So that's it. Looking down, though, is fantastic. So yeah, you can look all the way down, bury his chin into his chest. So pretty good. Now, we'll go to his butterfly joint first. He has a pretty decent butterfly joint. If I can get it to work now. Now it doesn't want to work because I said it, but before, there we go. Yeah, so as you can see, he gets a very good range out of his butterfly joint. Gaps a little, but it's not horrible. And on top of that, generally speaking, mostly you're going to have this figure, at least most people will pose this figure with the shirt on, so you're really not going to be affected by that, for the most part at all. Unless you decide you want him just chest naked, then yeah, go for it. So on the butterfly joint, pretty good. For the bicep swivel, standard bicep swivel, nothing crazy. Looks pretty good. Works pretty good too. Sorry. Double jointed elbow, which is fantastic. I mean, beautiful range on that, all the way up. It's like his forearm and his bicep are, kissing each other. Yeah, that was kind of awkward. Anyways, moving down, wrist is on a ball peg. So, ta-da! And has fantastic range. So, really, really good. Now, moving to his abdominals, this is where it gets a little strange. So, if you feel his abdominals in here, there is a ball peg in there. I'm not going to pull them apart to find out. I'm not one of those guys. I mean, sometimes I'll play around with something, but in this case, yeah, I can feel it, and you can move it. Don't get me wrong. You can do it, but look at that. It looks like he's, been starving in Africa. And if any of you are African viewers, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying that's kind of like a worldwide stereotype. Either way, look at this right here. It's pretty weird looking. So it doesn't work very well. And that's why I love and hate about this kind of, soft body design. It's cool, and it kind of makes it look more, natural when you're, looking at the figure, especially if he's going to be a shirtless figure like Luffy. So you don't see that ab cut. I get it. But at the same time, it just, it looks weird, and it also kind of is hard to do. It fights you, so you don't get the most range out of it. So that's not really that great. Looking forward, though, from his lower abdominal. Sorry, I know it's very creaky. I promise you it's not going to break. He just sounds like that. It's pretty gross sounding, though, to be fair. Yeah. You can move side to side. There you go. And we're going to stop that because that's just annoying me. You can move side to side. He can look down with his lower joint. However, you will get gapping. But again, he's going to be wearing his shirt, so you really won't see the gapping. So you do get the gapping if he's naked, chest naked, but you don't get it if he's at the front here. So it'll be pretty good. And then, of course, leaning back, which again, that will be exposed. Because his shirt doesn't cover there, you still don't get very bad gapping at all, unless you're really looking for it. And even then, you can just move the sash up, and it does work really good. So if you can see that, he's leaning all the way back, so you do get really great range. Sorry, that just sounds gross, I know, but you do get really great range out of the figure's abdominals. Now, moving to the legs, and also the sash, by the way, is very flexible, so you can just move it all the way out of your way if you need to. So moving to his legs, you do get pretty great range out of it. Sorry, my hand's blocking the light. So you do get pretty decent range out of it. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. It's acceptable. If you want Luffy doing a side kick, he can do a side kick. You do get the thigh swivel here as well. So really good. Now kicking outwards, he can kick outwards pretty good, really good. Kicking back, sorry, hit my camera, you don't get any backwards range really at all, and that's an issue because of the way this pants is designed. It's softer plastic, but it doesn't really work. So the only way he's going to do a back kick is if you bend him forward, and then he can do one. So that's really weird that they designed it like that. But again, out to the side, no problem. Thigh swivel, all that's great. So he does have double jointed knees, but it's kind of pointless. So what I mean by that is you do get this hinge right here that you can push up to give you a little bit of extra range. And that's about as far as his double jointed knee will allow him to go. And that's because of his pants. Now, this is the same issue that the SH Figure Arts figure has. And I can only assume that's because this came out first. I want to say the SH Figure Arts Luffy was a lot of the design choices were taken from this figure. Because looking at it, I think it's a very similar issue that it has, if not the same. So that's a little strange. Now, the knee in there does bend and rotate on its own. So you can rotate his leg from within there, aside from this upper thigh swivel. You do get another swivel in here as well, so that is an option. For his ankles, he does have an ankle rocker that works pretty good, so he can give you those blade kicks right there. He does have the ability to move his, foot back quite a bit and forward a pretty decent amount, very decent amount. The only thing I don't like about this, and I think the new Luffy does it, where the sandal separates from the foot, which I think is really cool, and I think that's a nice, design choice. Again, this was the first figure that came out before that SH Figure Arts Luffy, so I'm guessing with the Luffy they decided to implement that. But I wish they had done that with this figure. It would have looked more natural, because sandals don't attach to your back of your heel. And yeah, for the most part, that is pretty much it for Articulation. Like, he moves really well. I mean, everything, there's really not much limitations you're gonna have for him, except for like if you want him to have some crazy bend in his double jointed knee, you're not really gonna get that. And with the abdominals, if you want to crunch him forward, it will get a little weird looking with that vacuum that happens in his stomach. So a little strange, but overall fairly decent, very decent actually, for a figure. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into the accessories. All right, guys, so moving on to accessories. First accessory we'll go over is his shirt. So you do have his shirt, obviously, shows on the box, and as we saw earlier, it is removable, so that's pretty cool. And along with his shirt, you do get from the raid on Onigashima his, I guess, pseudo Pirate King cloak, which is pretty cool. So it has a hook right here, and it simply just hooks right into the back of the shirt. And then there you have it. He's got his Pirate King cloak on. It's a little, got to do a little bit of playing with it to get it to fit just right. But yeah, so just like that. So those are the first two accessories you get, which are pretty cool. I love this, cloak, because I love the look he had in the Wano arc, so it's pretty cool. So we have those. Now moving on. So for faceplates, we get two, I guess, serious faces. The only difference between these is that here he has furrowed eyebrows, so it's more like he's more annoyed or more angry with his face. This will be just his neutral, kind of like stern face right here. And here we have his angry, like, rage face, as well as just him smiling, kind of, more like a mischievous smile face. So here we have the head accessory for when he's wearing the hat, and it is interchangeable with all the faceplates, so that is pretty cool. You can just use any faceplate and any eye set with that corresponds to that faceplate with the hat to pretty much get any desired look you want. Alright guys, so moving into the hands, we do get an open palm hand, which is shown on the box as him patting down his hat. However, you don't have to use it that way, you can use it however you want. And we do get 4 battle hands. Generally these are the when he has his hands in that position to do like a gum attack. So you have the one with the thumbs out, and then the other hands with the thumbs in. So yeah, I wish there was a couple more variations of normal hands, but that is what we got, so it's what it is. Moving into his armament hockey hands. So right here we have 2 armament fists, and as well as the same hands that we have without armament, as well with the armament applied to them. Sorry, kind of weird trying to say that just now. But yeah, so we have those hands, as well as we have the arm attachment to showcase the armament happening on his hands. So pretty cool. So last and definitely not least, we do get a flight stand, or in some cases post stand. So the setup that I have it in now is for when he's wearing his pirate cloak. So what'll happen is you just simply put the figure in the middle there and drape the cloak over this. So if you just want to have him standing there in a pose with the cloak and he's standing, you can utilize this. However, if you do want to have your Luffy posed in a action pose where he's in the air doing something, they do give you the option to have this on the stand as well. So it's gonna be a little weird with his pirate cloak obviously draping over this. However, if you do want to have him in the air, or you just don't even want the cloak on at all, you just want him in his red shirt, this will be the stand that they give you for that. So pretty cool, they give you options. And lastly, we do get the star accessory. So I'll show you exactly what this does. This is actually pretty useful. So for instance, with his shirt. So for the shirt right there, you'll notice sometimes the sleeves get a little flat and they don't look as good as they're supposed to. You simply just put this over here to open them up again, and you could twist it a little bit to give them some ruffles so it looks the way it's supposed to. So that's what that is for with the shirt. Now in regards to the eyes, so we have the face right here with the eyes in it. How you get those out is you use this part of it right here and you just go underneath. Sorry, it's a bit cumbersome. I'm trying to do this while watching my camera. Here you go. So you go underneath, and then that way you can pull the eyes out. And the eyes are as easy to put in as just simply pegging them, pushing them back in. And then there you have it. Well, that's it, guys. Imagination Works Monkey D Luffy. I'm just going to go straight to it and tell you, this to me is a 9 out of 10. I love the figure. I love the cloth goods that come with it, especially. That's so awesome to have that from Tamashii. I like the articulating him. I would spend hours just playing around with different poses and trying to recreate scenes from the show. I love where they were going with this figure. A couple issues, like with the abdominal crunch not being really that great, and with the eyes just not being able to be used with any faceplate. It's kind of, annoying. Why not just let us use it how we want? But outside of that, it's just a fun figure, man. It's and very high quality on just even the accessories. You could feel the quality on them. Like, they really were trying to give their best Luffy that they could give you. And I feel, in my opinion, this is the best Monkey D. Luffy figure that's out there right now. So yeah, really good figure. If you are new to my channel, please comment. I do read the comments. I like to communicate with everybody, and of course I just ask that we all just be respectful. But since we're the toy community is a niche community, I really want us all to kind of interact with each other, and we help each other out, give our opinions. If you agree with the review, awesome. If you disagree, that's okay too. But definitely just comment and give your opinions. If you find any value in what I'm putting out there, feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you watching the videos and interacting. That's it for today, guys. As always, please be safe and keep collecting. Later, guys.